Cars are very nice. I would say, you know.
That's what happens when you don't have to pay for it, David.
That's
like,
like, just go out there and smash into all the walls, or touch the wall.
If you could just rub all the walls,
at
just take the paint off it, yeah, flat out in third and fourth gear, that'd be fine for us.
I would be impressed with that and put a score on the machine. Yeah.
There we go.
86 for Adam Zalewski, 17th position. At 17th with an 86. I don't think I've seen scoring like this in European drifting in a very long time, if ever. Torna Kavia is on the line from Norway. He hit the podium last year. We have got a little closer this year. Very big clutch kick. The judges loving his first run due to the amount of angle and throttle this guy used around the course. But right now, he's got a problem. Big problem.
Big problem there. And you know what? I was just going to say, 93, he's got nothing really to lose. He needs to just throw it all out there. And this is going to be the tale of the weekend, though, for Kavia. In open practice on 30, broken alternator. We're chasing some gremlins in the car all weekend. We make it official with a 0. This could be it now. It's getting to the end of the season. The car, is it feeling a little bit under pressure? It's been put to its paces this weekend.
Well, I'll tell you, I sort of took a small listen out of our commentary booth here, and that car looked like it sounded like it was running very badly. Like, it didn't sound like it had blown up, but just sounded like it was hunting and sort of no power whatsoever. So they may have an electrical issue in that car, it sounded like. Now, I'm no mechanic, as you know, Ian.
Yep.
Barely changed a wheel on a car, but I'll tell you one thing, it didn't sound like it was running perfectly. As we move back to the line, and the man that's won the last round of the Drift Masters European Championship, Martin Richards. Well, he's the king of Riga. Can he be the king of Germany?
Well, he can't be the Iron Drift King, that's for sure, because Poitevsko's got that crown. But yeah, look at this, Kavia out of the car, and not sure, he's throwing his hands up in the air, and this is not a good sign. Look, Kavia, we spoke to Kavia yesterday, and he said, again, he wants to be on the podium. He's desperate to get a podium this season, and problems. As you can see, look at the drone hovering, hands in the air for Kavia, as we now get that car removed. And
the question here is what's wrong? I mean, if it's a transmission issue or a mechanical issue, I'm sure they can get that correct. But if it's an engine issue, and you know he's already qualified with a 93, he's in there. So that's even more frustrating, is that, you know, he has to get this car fixed because it's the best qualifying result of the whole year.
But what is, you go back to what you said, you know, an electrical issue. What if it's a problem they can't find? And then you're in the twin battle situation, that car shuts down as you're both heading towards that second outer zone, absolutely full tilt.
Well, that's the worry. I mean, his car shut down at almost a good time because he was on the run-up and before he kicked into that first corner. You run to that outer zone 1 and your car shuts off. You're going in that wall, and it's going to be curtains for your chances, and it's also going to be curtains for the rear end of your car or the side of your car. So it is risky out there, and again, you're sort of expecting these cars to do exactly what, I mean, we talked about that strange initiation, the way you have to let the car wash. So you talked about side bite from the tires, and what we mean by side bite for anyone who's a layman is, you know, you're off throttle, but the car is, you know, slowing down just by the natural grip of the tire. Now, you're expecting to come back on throttle at some point to sort of get yourself out of trouble just before you hit the wall. You have no throttle. Well, that's not going to be a good time.
No, it certainly isn't going to be a good time. You'll be in the wall.
That's where you'll be.
With a broken car.
Yeah.
We've seen that this weekend as well. That's happened.
We've seen that at every round this year. I think even the tracks without walls, we've seen people in walls. Guys are pushing extremely hard out there.
When we go back to the line, we do see, the king of Riga, Martin Richards, sits on the line. As he thumbs up, this man feeling very confident again. Another driver who finished on the podium at the Iron Drift King event last year. So he said he's got a little bit of an insight. You know, he knows a little bit of cheating to the track. He knows where he can be. And look, he said he didn't think there was a championship hope for him this year. Inside the top 10 would be the dream. He's now 4th place with only 55 points split in those top 5 drivers. Can Richards do any damage to the championship? Well, he's done some damage to the back end of that Nissan Skyline. He stays in it now as he puts foot to floor and again takes it to the wall. Richards not messing around as he puts that car on the wall one more time, as he knows that risk reward is going to pay off for qualifying right now as he fires into outside zone 5, keeps the throttle down into 6, and across the finish line goes UK's very own Martin Richards.
Well, he's absolutely mashed the rear end of that car, is what he's done there, Ian. He went in very hot. He wanted to get as close as possible to outer zone 1 as he could. Well, he got a little too close, kicked it in late and very wide, bang. How does he stay in it though and control it? That car took a big hit. You can see just how much has been folded at the rear end, but he stays in it and somehow manages to complete a lap. I think his first score will be the stronger of the two, but it just goes to show how hard these guys want top step in qualifying.
You can just see the spoiler there flapping around the back end of what remains of the back end of Martin Richards' Nissan Skyline. He's very deep into this outside zone as well.
Get a good look at just how short he's made this car.
It's a compact.
It's a
Skyline compact.
Look at that, he's absolutely destroyed the back end.
If there was the back of the car there, he would have been close to the wall. So that should be taken into consideration for judging.
It should. That his car should have been longer than it was at that point in the circuit.
He just altered it.
He altered the car. He adjusted it. So here we go. Let's see what he does. At 89, he improves. Into 10th position goes Martin Richards, and the judges are rewarding him for, even though he has that impact, he stayed in it for the rest of the run. Again, imagine he would have been way up in the 90s without that little error on initiation. Next up, James Dean. Well, he can do no wrong here. He's the top qualifier so far. He's got a 94. Where do you go from there? And I think everyone needs to take 2 steps back for the first couple of rows here, because James Dean's going to try and improve on a 94. What can he do?
I think the fact to look at this is James Dean has hardly any damage on the back end of that BMW. Wow, as he runs the back end along the wall, and Dean not messing around. Absolute precision from the current champion, James Dean, now as he puts that car back onto the wall, again on outside zone 4, fires into 5, gets nice and personal as he just uses a little bit of left foot brake to set that car up for 6, and across the line goes James Dean, and he is a machine, because that was so perfect.
How do you do that?
How do you even do that?
And how do you not wreck your car? Because he was so close to every wall, he even tagged that one, but still doesn't put any major damage on the car. It's incredible.
It's just pure precision, because at no point is he too far into it that he's gonna, you know, rip the back. He does it with such finesse.
It's incredible. It's beyond human comprehension how precise you can be with so many inputs to the car. I mean, me and you try that, Ian. We're both crashed into the first wall.
That's just not even.
It's not even.
We couldn't even think about it.
No.
No one would be stupid enough to lend us cars to have a go at that.
No, I wouldn't even. I'd give it back.
Yeah.
I'd say not
like,
for me.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah. Why would you give me this car? Because that was incredible stuff from James Dean. What does he score? A 99.
Wow.
What do you even say? What do you even say?
What do you say? That is the highest score we have ever seen at Drift Masters European Championship, and James Dean knocks it out of the park.
But that means that if Jack Shanahan or Dwayne McKeever want to top qualifying, they have to get 100.
They have to do a perfect run.
It doesn't exist. A 99, you can't get a 99. Well, Jack Shanahan, the only 99 Jack Shanahan had this year was an ice cream. Let's see if he can go any further up the order. Goes right out to the wall, just drops the wheel a little bit over, but it's aggressive so far from Shanahan.
Yeah, he's firing into outside zone 4 now. Shanahan will know on the radio that Dean just moved himself way up the order. He's outside of outside zone 4 though, and Shanahan makes a little error there as he gets into 6, puts the wheel on the wall, and across the line goes Shanahan as he throws in a 360, which is becoming a bit of a tradition now for these guys.
Absolutely. I think, you know, Jack Shanahan will have got out there being more aggressive than he was in the first run, but how do you follow a 99? I mean, that is ridiculous scoring from James Dean, and I use the word ridiculous. Do you think James Dean would be annoyed he left a point out there?
Yes, oh yeah, for sure. He's like, what, there was one left?
There was one
Where was that one?
Yeah.
Where was the one? I think it was on outside zone 5. He didn't get close enough to 5, otherwise I think it would have been,
yeah.
I think it would have been the first 100 we've ever seen.
Talking about Shanahan's run, I mean, this is a 90-plus run. I think, you know, a little bit of wavering here. They went a bit deep to outer zone 2 than he would have liked, but it was super aggressive. It was accurate. He threw a 360 in at the end. That, for me, is an extra 5 points. Judges will never, ever add that, but I think having a little bit of a celebratory 360 is good.
Big mistake he makes is here, because he gets deep into 4, but well, you get the camera close, he comes out of it. So, yeah, still, a 92 puts him in 2nd position. Shanahan looking strong.
Hasn't qualified outside the top 2 all season long. Incredible consistency from Jack Shanahan. Leaving us with one driver remaining, Dwayne McKeever. He's the current championship leader, and to be honest, the rest of that grid has caught up a long way on Dwayne McKeever since 2 rounds in Austria and France. He's got to have a result this weekend. A lot of pressure on his shoulders. He'll tell you it's for tires, but it is going to be a tough task for Dwayne McKeever to come out here on top, qualifying with a 99 on the board from James Dean, and that's going to play into the psyche of these guys, is just how good everyone else is on the course. McKeever doing a fine job so far, though, of linking it up, and look at that, smashing the rear end of the car off that wall, precisely what he aimed to do. An incredible run again from Dwayne McKeever, but I don't think it's going to top qualifying. A 99 on the board means, you know, out of this world, unfair scoring by James Dean in many
I'd say
ways.
it's done. It's a done deal, because unless you go out there and do the same run, but with, you know, but 1% more in it, there is nothing. And
take nothing away from McKeever. This is a really solid run. Maybe not as wide as we would have expected to those outer zones. We want to see drivers getting out there, but if this doesn't give you a taste of what's coming up later on in the twin battles, I mean, this is what we call it, the warm-up act. Qualifying is just the warm-up. This is just to get boys in the show, but these guys go out there inches from each other on these walls. It's going to be unmissable. It's going to be a spectacle. It's going to prove why Drift Masters European Drift Championship rounds are just probably even too exciting, if anything, to be honest. You know, you need to take a break every now and again. There's a lot going on here. And look at that backdrop as he, on the drone footage, you see an incredible shot there. Dwayne McKeever going right out to the wall. look how precise, right here, boom, right on the edge of the wall, perfect for Dwayne McKeever, but he's got a tough day ahead of him as he goes 91 and into 6th position goes Dwayne McKeever. Solid qualifying session for him. He's holding off the pack, but will he be able to hold them off till midnight tonight? When we go under the lights here in Ferropolis in Germany, an incredible qualifying session, the highest scoring qualifying session of the year. And there you have it, number 1 at 99 for James the Machine Dean, chasing back for his third, well, it would be his 7th European Championship. Jack Shanahan, when he's in 2nd position at the moment in the championship and in qualifying, 93. Kavia with another 93. Connor Shanahan with a 92. Vasiliauskas 92. McKeever, championship leader in 91 and 6th for him. Pavel Korpelinski on fire with a 91. And Elihu Tunji got it all done on the second half of qualifying for 8th place. Enver Haskasap looking very solid in 9th. Hugh Harrington in the Flying Finn in 10th. 11th for Riga winner Martin Richards. Zakharov, again, surprise package, 12th position, along with Samic. Guys are killing it out there. Czech and Hungary guys. 14th for Joe Hutunji with an 88. Fonte with an 88. And Michael Reichardt rounding out the top 16 with an 87. Well, into the second half of the pack it goes. Last night's winner, Juha Poitalasko in 17th, Zalewski the young gun in 18th, Bagsy in 19th, Daham in 20th with an 85, Quinn in 21st, Shirba in 22nd, 23rd for Stolarski, 24th for Roman Ovsky. 25th, the local man and winner of this event last year, Max Heidrich. 26th for David Karkoshik in that new 370Z. Wildcard Trellis in 27th, Hipke in 28th. 29th for the Slovakian Kolasar. 30th for Christian Erlandson, finally getting himself into the top 32. Brandner's in 31st, and Max Miller in the M4 rounds out our top 32. That means commiserations for the rest of the grid, who, to be honest, can't be too disappointed because the scoring was incredibly high. How do you even explain that qualifying session? Incredible. You guys have got a hell of a day ahead of you, but we got some more analysis to go. We got some more to talk about. We're back in a few moments after this.
They are brothers, and amongst the best drifters in the world. Now, it's time to get ready for one of the toughest drift leagues, Drift Master GP. Drifting on the edge of control, they go all in. Drift Brothers. All episodes available on Red Bull TV. We ride Wes. The toughest motorsport series starts a new season with 8 stops.
Anything can happen in this race.
Combining 3 disciplines: hard enduro, classic enduro, and cross country. A unique series where amateurs compete with pros.
Speed and the competition is amazing.
Only the most versatile rider can call himself the ultimate champion. Don't miss the World Enduro Super Series 2019 on Red Bull TV.
Pushing it out to the wall. I now have our lineup of our top 2, and this seems to be a situation that I'm seeing a few times this season. James Dean in the #1 place with a 99.
Very happy with that, and again, Jack right behind me. We got a good score in our first run, and I just knew that Jack was the next car after me, and I knew that he was going to be going 110% as always, so I just put it all on the line. It's like a local neighborhood fight at this point, and really enjoyed the run. Everything worked out almost better than I planned, and we got a 99, so absolutely delighted.
Is that your best score for a qualifying run in Drift Masters?
I think that might be the best, yeah. So very happy with that. The new car is working, and I'm really starting to enjoy driving on track. So yeah, let's hope we can keep it going.
Perfect, thank you, James.
Pleasure.
Over to Jack. Jack, do you ever get bored of fighting with your neighbour?
No, it seems to be a thing now that's been going on with quite some time, to be honest. So I'm not really sick of it at this stage, you know. We had a good time anyway, so that's all that matters.
I love it when you drive that GTA 6, as it just looks like you're having loads of fun out there.
Yeah, well, the second run was all for the fans, to be honest. Like, I just backed it into the first corner and had a good laugh, so I wasn't really going for the points. I changed some other stuff in the car, and by the time I had even took off, I knew that it was wrong. So I just said, you know, I got to chuck it in and see what happens. And I had a good time.
Did you change anything for this round?
No, not necessarily. I just think the cars find it hard to adapt to the, like, it's a lot tighter than every other track we've been on so far this year. It's not really getting a chance to open up and breathe, so we'll figure it out. Hopefully, we've got another practice before battle, so hopefully I can figure it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't go change anything in practice now, would you?
No, definitely not. No, I'm sure we'll figure it out, surely. The team are working hard.
Awesome, thank you, Jack. Right, we'll grab our number 3. We have Tor Arnegvir. Now, it's congratulations, but also commiserations, because we saw that you had to be towed off the track there. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, it's been a tough weekend now.
Okay.
We've been having so much issues. We thought we were going to do a good qualifying run number 1 because we don't think the car would survive the second run. So the guys are cracking on the car now, trying to fix it. Hopefully it will last the night and we can be on a podium. It will be so good. But again, getting topped by James and Jack, so...
Well, I saw you were looking for an alternator. Was that fixed and it's now something else?
Not sure. The guys are there, I don't know. Yeah, we've been through 3 alternators. We're currently running one from a Hummer H2.
Okay, interesting.
So it's interesting. It doesn't work as good as what I should have, so.
Well, that's the funny thing. It's like the whole pits, when someone's in trouble, rally round to get parts to you. Have you had help from the other drivers out here?
Oh, yeah, the German guys helped us so much. Gave us some contacts to get like the alternator, and yeah, we're so grateful for that.
Well, Tor, hopefully you get it all fixed and we'll see you out there for the top 32 battles.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was our top 3. As I say, I'm starting to see James and Jack on the top quite a lot. But make sure that you guys tune into the Motor Channel on Red Bull TV, where there are so many other shows that you can download. There's plenty of exciting live events, films, and don't forget to log in to save your favorites and watch them offline. To relive the best action of the DMEC 2019, check out the video analyzer on Red Bull TV. Simply check out the timeline at the bottom of the screen or use the drop-down menu, where you can search by heat, drivers or country. Once you found your favourite moment, you can watch it as often as you like. You can also share it with all of your friends and family by using the online social media tool. Fantastic qualifying action there by our drivers. You can really see them gelling with the track, pushing the cars right to the outside limit. Some of them finding their limits, and also some of them absolutely running it in. But make sure you join us at 6 p.m. local time. We'll see you there. Goodbye.
Hutunji, not exactly. Had some issues with the car shutting down in practice. You know, they went out last night, said everything's A-okay, the car, you know. Well, I'll tell you one thing, that was not the perfect run, but he did get a run on the board. And we wait the score from Joe Hutunji, rather, to see if he jumps up the order. I think it'll be a mid-pack score, Ian. I don't think he wowed the judges on that one. But again, looking at his brother Ellie, he did not put any score on the board. So let's go down to Ellie. Ellie's on the grid with Becky down there. So let's see what he felt, what went wrong. He spun out.
Ellie, we could see you pushing there on your qualifying line, but maybe a bit too hard?
Yes, unfortunately, a bit too hard. I was fully on the edge, full lock to the second outer zone. What the judges asked us to do to take the maximum risk, I did so, and it's actually the first time I spun out in qualification. So now I have one more run to go, but I will give it all.
Good luck in your next run. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Here from the man himself, Ellie Hutunji. But Joe Hutunji scores an 80, putting himself into 9th position. So judges liking the consistency of Joe's run, and then the opposite approach from Ellie, who went on big angle, lost all his scores there. So interesting fortunes for the Red Bull Drift Brothers. We move along to Paweł Korpelinski. He's been impressing us in practice. We love watching this guy drive, especially in the chase position, but he looked so technically perfect on this track. He looked at home from 2 or 3 laps in. I'm expecting big things here, Ian.
Yeah, I am, because, look, Paweł Korpelinski, he came in last year and qualified very, very high. Qualified first at one of the events we was at. Korpelinski is one of these guys that you can never say, well, he's not going to do that well. You know, you never know what he could do. He is so hit and miss. He's going to come into this right now. Like you say, he's been very good in practice over the weekend, holding him on the line for a minute before we give him the signal to go.
Absolutely. He's a Polish champion, he's a Swedish champion, he's done it all, but he has to do it all here on a European level. We've seen flashes of brilliance from Paweł Korpelinski, but will we see that today? Look at that wash and an absolute perfect line from Paweł Korpelinski. Nicely done. Look at this, taking it right out to the edge of the circuit in this BMW 1 Series. Look at that, perfect again on outer zone 4, and this is what we came to see this weekend, guys, pushing to the absolute maximum, tagging the rear bumper, and tagging the rear bumper again. Korpelinski going for a big score in the first run here, trying to get the work done early in the day. Nice run from the Polish driver.
Yeah, that's a very, very good run there from the Polish driver, as you mentioned. They've been all around the world drifting. The 2017 Swedish Drift Champion, the 2018 Swedish Drift Champion, and 7th place overall last year in our championship here at Drift Masters. As we take a look back, Korpelinski's run, you can see him on that wall, nice and deep. A little left foot brake just to keep that car absolutely balanced as he gets very deep into this outside zone. Gets the car all the way into it, and then little rub of the bumper on the wall as he brings it across the line. And Korpelinski, as I said before, he could come in and take top spot of qualifying and not really, you know,
out of nowhere.
Yeah, don't expect it. He just turns up and goes, that's it. That's what I want to do.
I think that's a big score. I think it was a good run. I was impressed. I'm not sure if the judges are going to be as impressed, but I was impressed. I sat back and said, you know what? He is pushing that car to the extremes the whole way around. 91 from Paweł Korpelinski, first position. I told you, Ian, I got that feeling halfway through the run. I was like, this is what they want to see. They want to see a guy really pushing it. Incredible first score for Korpelinski. We move along to Daniel Brandner, Brandy Brandner, as we call him here in the championship. And to be fair, he was the man out there telling us how the track goes down, so he's had a good look around the place and see if he can translate that into a phenomenal first run. This car running a Ford Mustang V8 turbo in a BMW. Try and figure that one out. I'm still trying to get my head around it. And look at this, Brandy Brandner put it out to those walls. They'll tentative on the transition, but the line is pretty good, staying as wide as we possibly can. Maybe we get a little closer to that wall, coming away from it a little bit early, causing him to almost go over the exterior white lines of the track. And again, timing seems to have been the issue here, not commitment or skill, just a little bit mistimed on some of his transitions there, Brandner.
Well, Brandner said to me this morning that this is just a lucky ride for him this year, because he was a wild card in Austria. He gained that license for the rest of the season, and he said, you know what, I'm just going to jump on the train and follow this crazy circus around Europe as we move forward. And he said he's been having a lot of fun. He's very relaxed this year. He said he's got nothing to prove because he didn't count of doing this season. So now this is like borrowed time for him. He said he's enjoying this circuit, and as you mentioned, he went down there. He's been on the track, he's had a good look around it, he's had hands on with Becky, and you know what, not technically correct, but the consistency again. Bradner's been very consistent, and that was what killed a lot of people and knocked a lot of people out of the competition in Riga.
Yeah, 73 on the board for Daniel Brandner, puts him in the 20th position. He's sitting sort of in that mid-pack. I think that's where it's going to be very, very tight later on in the qualifying session. It's not going to be easy to get into this top 32 today, I'll tell you that for nothing. Moving back to the line, what's the man that won Iron Drift King here in this very venue last year? Well, it's Max Heidrich from Germany. He's the local boy. A lot of pressure, a lot of German fans in those stands. But he is a fearless driver. That's the word I've always used for Max Heidrich. Absolutely fearless. Look at the aggression into that first corner. How can he hold this? Wow, to the wall. I mean, that is... I was going to use a term of how much you need to clench there to be able to get away with that, because that was an incredible tagging walls. It's not perfect, but man, is it entertaining. And Max Heidrich, fearless, aggressive, stylish, and that's what the fans came to see. That's what we came to see. Judges will pick apart some of the errors, but I love that stuff. I'd have thrown it in there with no courtesy for gravity or his car or anything. He pulled that off. He's smiling behind that helmet right now.
Well, that was very reckless of Max Heidrich right now in his first qualifying run. Nearly made a massive error. He got out onto the marbles at that point, and you can see him barely holding on to it as he transitioned into outer zone 4. Gets very deep into the wall. There's throws 90 degrees in, he tags the back bumper, and it pushes him off that qualifying line. He has to really work then to adjust and get it back on again. But look at the throttle he's using. He's literally full throttle the whole track. No messing around. No tickling that throttle pedal, Dave. He's not here to, you know, mess around. He's here for business.
Absolutely. Let's see what he scores, though. I mean, you know what? The most entertaining run for sure so far. Maybe not the perfect run. No. But I want to see what the judges score this, because it's going to hard to take the style away from that one. Let's see what he gets. An 81 for Max Heidrich. Style at 18. There you have it. The big reward for style. 10th position so far for Max Heidrich. A good solid score. Let's see what he does in the second, if he can stay alive. And we will be back very shortly. Oh, let's see where we are right now. Just actually want to get a quick look and see what's happening. So Pavel Korp is at 91. He has no right to get a 91 in the first qualifying run. Zakharov in second with an 89. Sebastian Fonten gets an 88. Vasilievskis 87. Haskasap with an 87. Bagsy with an 86. Quadraxo with an 83. And Zamic with an 83. They're big scores for the first half of qualifying. Boys mean business today here in Germany. Incredible stuff. Well, we're back with more action very soon, Ian. I know you need a breath because you thought Max Heidrich was going in the wall. Well, he didn't. He got a good score. Let's see if anyone can beat it in a few moments' time. We're back with more action from the 5th round of the Drift Masters European Championship after this.
Check out the Motor Channel on Red Bull TV. Motorsports at its finest, all over the globe. Download the Red Bull TV app for free and sign in to watch all of our content offline. Download the app now. Speed lovers unite. Immerse yourself in the sensory overload glory that is Formula One. Red Bull TV introduces a channel devoted to the fastest sport on the planet. Get previews of worldwide courses. Witness heart-throbbing showruns. Go behind the scenes for exclusive access.
This is my side, 2 TV screens.
Have fun with the Red Bull Racing team and the Scuderia Toro Rosso drivers.
Was that your card?
And watch awe-inspiring films and documentaries.
Fantastic job.
Put the pedal to the metal with the Formula One channel on Red Bull TV.
Welcome back to Germany, and the action is coming thick and fast here in the first half of qualifying at round 5 of the Drift Masters European Championship. An incredible venue. We've got a lot of incredible drivers out there trying to make it to the top 32 head-to-head battles later in the competition. And next on the line, well, here's one of them. 15 years of age, representing Ireland, Conor Shanahan in the 650 horsepower car. Looking to replicate some success he had last year. Hasn't had the perfect season so far this year, but it's been coming extremely hard for some big results as Conor Shanahan takes it right out to the wall on outer zone 2. and tagging towards the wall in Arizona 3. You'll see a lot of spoilers now being removed from the cars as they've taken some heavy hits in practice as Conor Shanahan runs the rear end of that car nice and close to those outer zones. Towards outer zone 5 and 6, a very smooth run, Ian, throughout the course. Looking confident there is the youngster.
Very, very, very good there from Conor Shanahan, and very precise and very technical drive. I think he sat back and looked at this in the right way and said that going wild is not really the way to approach it. You have to be technical on this circuit, and it's a very nice line he took into outside zone 2, and it sets himself up perfectly, almost 90 degrees to the wall there at outside zone 3. Gets into 4 very, very early and stays in it. As you can see the cone on the wall there, he stays in it past that and transitions nice and late into outside zone 5, which is a bit of a touch and go. They get into that off the wall and then across the finish line, and a very nice job there for Conor Shanahan, and looking like back on form again, gelling with that new chassis.
Absolutely, a 92 for Conor Shanahan. Judges saying the perfect line almost around the entire circuit. Puts himself into first position with his first run with a 92. The scores are going to be astronomical today if this is how we start off. Let's see what Juha Rintanen can do. Well, he's a showman. He's got all the smoke show that you could ever want from drifting. The Finnish driver, a 2013 European champion. He's competed in the United States, and look at that for a line from Juha Rintanen. No fear from the Finnish driver as he fires out towards those outer zones, and that is what it's all about. Look at that, sitting on the front brake, letting that car work. Big angle, big aggression. That's his trademark, that's his characteristic. Look at this, again to the wall. Rintanen, a little bit off form in Riga, but back on it here in Germany, and that's what we came to see.
Well, I'm going to put it all out there, and I'm going to say that's probably technically a better run than Conor Shanahan's. Look at this, a very deep into that outside zone, tags the wall, and you can see him, lets that car wash, he stays on that white line, gets on the throttle nice and early, and then bam, onto that wall, outside zone 3, completely fulfilled. Perfect timing into outside zone 4, and just as deep as anybody else as he comes away from that to 5. Very, very tidy job as he transitions. Look at the smoke line, consistent as he gets nice and close again in 6 and up onto the wall, across the finish line. Very good job there. That's a contender for top spot. I'm going to put it out there right now.
Absolutely, a very, very good run from Juha Rintanen. Let's see what the judges score. I mean, we're getting some huge scores here. An 87 for Juha Rintanen into 7th position, and line down, I'll tell you what that was, 5 to 6. I just noticed he dropped off the line a little bit from outer zone 5 to 6.
What do I know?
Very little apparently, Ian, and you know what, that's been evident all year, but let's see what happens as we move on to our next run. I mean, an 87, nothing too shy of an incredible first half of qualifying score. Hipke now from Poland to take off the line, and a big aggressive kick, very wide is Hipke, locking up the front brakes. Another excellent run to the wall from Gregor Hipke. Look at that back wheel running that outer line, but he came away from the zone a little bit early, but other than that, absolutely exceptional. From the Polish driver in this V8 E30 BMW, and again, wrong time to transition there for Gregor Hipke.
Oh, he keeps tagging the walls.
Yeah. A little tag in the wall, hitting some walls there. Well, I want to see guys hitting some walls, but the judges say if it affects the front of the car or the angle of the car, it will be deducted. And hey, who are we to tell the driver not to go too hard at the first half of qualifying game?
Well, he tagged the wall in 2 positions there, and we're going to take a quick look at the replay, and I'll be able to pinpoint them just for you. And there was 2 points where he pushed himself off the line, yeah, and I mean a light rub, as Kevin O'Connell, our head judge, mentioned in the briefing, is fine, but heavy impact with the wall is going to upset the front wheels of the car, and it's going to upset the, the line that the driver's going to take, so that's going to upset the score. Just take a look back, very nice initiation, very committed as he gets nice things outside zone, perfect line, almost, he backs out of ever so slightly, but he comes away from this zone a little bit too early. Now watch this line, gets into 4 very, very early, starts to throw angle on it, tags the wall and upsets the line, gets himself out of that early, and then that upsets this line, which tags it again and stalls the car up. So 2 mistakes there for Hipke. Work to be done, I think, on a second run. And listen, if anything's go by on that last run that I was very wrong about, this will be a very similar score to Juha Rintanen, maybe. Yeah, there we go. An 80 for Gregor Hipke in 13th position, and slowly learning, Dave, round 5.
Absolutely, you'll get there by the End of the year, Ian, don't worry. It's a complicated sport. It takes time to be as expert as maybe I am, but you know what? You're trying. Let's see what happens. Benedictus Chirba is our next driver. We call him the dark horse in this championship because he continues to be the dark horse. He currently sits in 5th position in the championship right now, and he's got it all to play for. Big angle from Chirba and a big mistake. 6th position and 7th by mistake in the championship right now. Get a little confused where he's in the championship. I think he might be first by the end of the season because look at the driving he's putting in on track here. Has Chirba a big angle on the first corner that's going to hurt his score, and again big angle again. I'm not sure if that's the style to go with here, as it loses a lot of the momentum through the course. If you go on big angle, it slows you up, and I think a little error at the start of the run there might again, watch this. If he comes in, he goes on very big angle here and almost stalls up. He's way off that outer zone, and it's going to hurt his score. He does get back on it, recovers very well, you know, back into outer zone 4, and you know, there's a good job from there on in. But yeah, maybe one of those mistakes or 2 of those mistakes again. Look at this big angle again, putting him, you know, a little bit on the inside line. I tell you what, not bad from the first corner on, but again with the score so high, can you really afford to make any mistakes here today?
Well, I mean, if we carry on like this, and he's barely going to get you into the top 32 at this rate at the moment. But Benedictus Chirba, yeah, 7th in the championship at the moment, and he's going to be looking to, you know, earn some more points. Look at that, 79 drops him into 19th position, and these scores, Dave, gathering some momentum at the moment.
Well, let's see exactly what happens when the next driver comes to line. Adam Zalewski, 19 years of age, future talent. Well, he's not even a future talent, he's a present talent. He's also a former champion of the Drift Masters European Championship 2 years ago. Looking to get back onto form. He's been climbing back up that championship leaderboard ever since a bad result in France knocked him way down the order. And look at this as he transitioned in that bright yellow GT86, taking it right to the walls there. That's as close as anybody's got all day. Zalewski looks like he's hungry for a big result this weekend as he fires back out to those outer zones. Strong performance from the youngster across the line. And Poland look like they'll have some interesting competitors in the top 10, I think, in qualifying right to the end. Remember, there's a Nations Cup going on here behind the scenes. You know, top 2 scorers from each country taken at the end of every run. At the moment, Ireland leading Poland in that, but there's not a lot in it.
No, there's not a lot in it. And look at this, Zalewski doing a very tidy job. Gets nice and deep into outside zone as he sets that car up perfectly for the final 2. Not as deep as some of the other drivers, you know. I think this is maybe a tentative run for Zalewski. You can see him keeping it off that white line, off the walls. Maybe he's going to go, you know, for it all on the second run, but just trying to get a score on that first qualifying run. There's no zeros, well, 1-0 so far, and you know, a few low scores, but there's a lot of good scores though.
I mean, 1-0 so far is a big statement of how good this grid is right now.
So we can see Martin Richards in the car, the King of Riga, waiting his first qualifying run.
Can he continue his role? Well, we'll find out what Zalewski scored first. Has 78, puts him into 20th position. So some errors on that run from Adam Zalewski. And the judges do have a fantastic view of this track directly down from almost a drone-like position. So they spotted a couple of things we didn't as we move on to Tor Arne Kvia, the Norwegian sledgehammer. Kvia from Norway. He's only 21 years of age. And it seems like for me, he's got a world of talent and experience beyond his years, and a very aggressive entry slamming into that first corner. This could be in the wall though, very aggressive, had to dial a lot of angle into that to save himself, but sort of worked out in his favor as he hammers the limit around this course. The V8 echoing through all of the crazy backdrop as Kvia transitions now back to that last corner. Look at this, he's on full throttle everywhere. This is a style that we like to watch Ian, where he just throws that big angle and foot to the floor, not a lot of handbrake used, not a lot of braking. Very, very aggressive.
Yeah, look at this nice initiation there. You can see her carrying a lot of speed, throws it on and lets the tyre do all the work, gets on the throttle nice and early, and I think that sacrificed a little bit more depth into outside zone 2, which obviously he sacrificed a little bit of line in 3. Gets back into it though, just Kvia as he gets nice and deep into 4, consistently on the throttle. You can hear him on the rev limit the whole way through, very deep in 5. As the back end of that Nissan seen a lot of work this year as he takes it across the line. again, and Kvyat, again, inside that championship, top 5. He's in the top 5 of the championship, so he's going to be looking, you know, a podium this weekend could change the whole season for him.
Absolutely. I think they need to build the back of that car in rubber. I think that's the only thing you could give Toranic.
There's not much left of it now, to be fair.
Left, bar hopes and dreams in the back end of that car after a lot of wall runs this year. And 93 for Toranic Kvyat puts him into first position. And I'll tell you what, Ian, the reason he's there, all-out aggression. Throttle, throttle, throttle. Now we know. The judges want to see big angle, big throttle, not a lot of handbrake, not a lot of wavering. Well, now we know Kvyat nails it. 93, Can, the King of Riga, the man 2 weeks ago on top step of the podium here at Drift Masters European Championship. Martin Richards attacks the course. And we were speaking, you know, at length about how this car is one of the longest running in European competition. It runs a stock block in the car, which is totally unheard of at this level of competition. It's just got a manifold and a turbo, but man, can he make it work? He made it work and win the last round of the championship. And Richards again looking like he's on a flyer.
Wow, very good job there for Martin Richards as he pulls across the line. Tidy stuff there, but you know what, after seeing Toranic Kvyat's run, that previous run, I'm not sure what the judges want to see. Technically, that was very good for Richards. You can see him nice and deep into outside zone 1. Gets that back wheel on that line, nice and deep into 2. Not too close to the wall, but close enough. Nice line through 3 as he transitions into 4 very early, and then gets the back end of that Nissan Skyline up onto the wall there. And again, technically very, very correct. You can see him locking the front wheel with the brake, gets it onto the wall again, just off the front wheel, slightly to dial that car in. Is he going to be up there? Well, it certainly is. An 85 gets him inside the top 10 in qualifying right now.
So we're halfway through qualifying, well, almost halfway through qualifying, and an 85 when he gets into 10th position. Where are we going to end up here? Next up, we have got James Dean. He's the current and defending champion, but at the moment, he sits in 3rd position in the championship and needs to make a move now if he wants to go back-to-back. He's a 2-time US champion, 6-time European champion, 5-time Irish champion, and you're about to see why as he fires that BMW E92. Look at the wall runs he's achieving here. This is so pinpoint accurate right now. Takes it out to outer zone 4. Little front brake just to balance the car. You see that front brake light just shining a little bit here and there. So much technique, so much angle and aggression as he takes around that last course. Wow, that's going to be a contender as well. An incredible run from James Dean. Well, he's not playing around this weekend.
No, he's not playing around this weekend. He had a very misfortunate round in Riga and he knocked himself out very, very early. Look, he said to me, he said it needs to happen this weekend, Dave, or it can't happen anywhere else. He wants to be on the top step of the podium in Poland and take the championship back in Mondello, and he wants to take the championship at home. Look at this, a bird's eye view from James Dean as you look out the side window, and exactly what he's looking at as he works that car into the wall. Very, very good use of that. Look at that. Look at the way he crosses his arms, flicks that car aggressively onto the wall, Dave.
Well, it looked good from the outside, but I wonder how it felt from the inside, because I'll tell you what, let's go down with James Dean. Let's see how he thought the run was before we hear what the judges had to say.
Well, James, that was your first qualifying run, and I know you've been chasing a bug in your steering. Is it better?
It's not 100%. I'll get a shake in my wheel as we're on full throttle, but I'm after getting used to it. I know that it's not having an effect, you know, nothing is failing, it's just constant. But that run was my first qualifying run, really enjoyed it, felt it was good. I don't know what the score is, but I enjoyed it. So looking forward to the second one.
All right, James, good luck in your second run. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it looked good from outside the car. It felt good from inside the car. Let's see what the judges had to say. And 94 for James Dean. He's done it again. First position. Do we even need to do the second half of qualifying at this point, or where do we go from here?
Well, slow yourself down, Dave, because on the line right now is Jack Shanahan. And this man, well, he's not been messing around. He's been taking top place in qualifying for most of these rounds. Can he do it again? He's off the line and ready to go.
Well, he's got a 94 on the board for James Dean to beat. Let's see what happens here as Shanahan goes very wide into that first corner. Takes it right out to the wall. It was almost the back of his head was on the wall. That car is not a long car. As he transitions back to outer zone 4, getting that car so close to those walls. Pinpoint accurate. He's been #1 qualifier out of 4 out of 5 rounds this year. Can he go back to top of the leaderboard? A little bit shyer than James Dean on that last corner, but definitely a contender. And 90s, 90s, 90s now starting to make up what is an incredible first half of qualifying.
Well, Jack Shanahan said he wants all of the points he can get, and he knows if he gets qualifying here, if he gets top of qualifying, he gets 7 points in the bag before he even steps out for top 32, and he said he needs them. He wants them for moving forward in the championship, because it wasn't even a consideration until Riga happened. And right now, Shanahan doing a very tidy job as he fires deep onto the wall there for outside zone 5, nice and deep into 6, and as you mentioned, comes away very, very early.
Yeah, well, again, an incredible run, but I mean, the adrenaline must be filling Jack Shanahan right now after an amazing pass of the circuit. Let's see what he gets in the scoring. 93 for Jack Shanahan. Second position. He must be over the moon. Becky's with him now.
Jack Shanahan, no stranger to #1 qualifier this season, but that was an amazing first run. How's the car feeling for you?
Yeah, we're having a little bit of difficulties with getting the grip down and stuff. We pushed a little bit too hard there. I didn't really find the track kind of fluid. I was nice and deep in the clipping points, but I definitely can do better. So not too sure what the score is, but it was all right.
Well, next run you'll be out there. Thank you.
Well, I have it. I'll tell you one thing, Jack. You got a 93 and you weren't feeling too confident out there. So what does that mean for the second run? Well, another man lines up. He is the current championship leader. He's had 2 phenomenal rounds at the start of the season, but he's had 2 not so fortunate rounds in the last 2. Let's see what Dwayne McKeever can do. He is the rookie at the moment in this championship that's making all the headlines. He's currently still top of the championship. Look at this, McKeever, known for his speed throughout the course and no stranger to getting up close and personal to those walls. And look at that, the front of the car hopping as he hammers the clutch to get that car back out to the exterior zones, and a very fluid run, very aggressive as well. As those 3 Irishmen at the top of the championship try and leapfrog each other, even though it's only halfway through qualifying, Ian, it's still competitive. It never stops being competitive. They're having a look across at each other. Great run from McKeever.
Very, very good run from McKeever. Look at that, deep into that zone, but he sacrifices the line. Look at that, doesn't go as deep into outside zone 2 as what we'd expect him to see. Hangs the spoiler over the wall there on 3, nevertheless, though, and again, hangs the wall right way at the spoiler over the wall on 4, all the way around. Look at the smoke all the way out to the wing mirror as he transitions into outside zone 5. And the end plates, Dave, they were long gone. They were long gone in practice.
Yeah, I think someone has them signed at home on a wall somewhere at this point, because there's not many spoilers left on these cars, as those catch fences taking a lot of victims in practice. McKeever now will await his score. Was it as pin perfect as Dean and Shanahan? I would say, in my estimation, not as perfect, but still a very good score all the same. And 88, Dwayne McKeever in 7th position so far. 88 is 7th position. Ian, what has happened to European drifting, and how has it got this competitive?
Well, it's blown up, Dave. That's what's happened, and it's got huge. Right now on the line, though, we go back to the start where we all kicked off qualifying earlier on with the guy, well, he's on borrowed time, Dave. This is bonus time for this young man. Niels Visier on the line, ready to go for his second qualifying run.
Yeah, well, we'll go back. I just want to have a quick look at this leaderboard before we send the second half of qualifying. James Dean sits top with a 94. Shanahan in second with a 93. And Kavia, he's right there almost in joint second with a 93. Connor Shanahan with a 92. Korplinski with a 91. Zacharel 89. McKeever, the current championship leader, with 7th, joint 7 with an 88 with Sebastian Fonten. Look at these scores. Vasiliauskas 87. Haskasap 87. Rintanen 87, Bagsy 86, Richards 85, Pointelasco 83, Zamech in 15th with an 83, and in 16th place with an 82 is Michael Ryert. 16th with an 82. Incredible results so far. Max Heidrich, the German man who won it last year, he's in 17th with an 81. Hipke in 18th, Lutunji in 18th, also Trella in 20th. He needs a little burst in the second half of qualifying. Kevin Quinn in 21st with a 79. And as you look down the order here, there's the big names. Zalewski in 25th. He'd be expected to be way up the order there. And then a lot of guys sitting very much on the drop zone in the 70s. I think you got to go at least into the 80s here to be safe today. By the time we count and tot up all these scores towards the second half of qualifying, let's be honest, you got to be on it. No point turning up to the European Championship, no point turning up to the Champions League of European Drifting if you're not ready to throw down. Well, let's see if Niels Visser is ready to throw down. He was yesterday at the Iron Drifting competition. He took 3rd step. He's got to improve on his first score here. Let's see how he gets on.
Yeah, 53 on his first qualifying run. He goes nice and deep into outside zone 1, but he's not as deep into 2 as we'd like to see him. And now it starts to play out, you know, the level of the Drift Masters European Championship driving and how far these guys are pushing. And you can see they're not doing exactly what the judges want to see. Very shy on outside zone 5 as he gets close to the wall on 6. And takes it across the line. As I mentioned earlier, this guy had borrowed time this weekend and just having some fun, mixing it up in Drift Masters as one of our wild card drivers.
And he is a wild card. I'll give him that. I mean, it's the definition of a wild card. You don't know what he's going to do. He pulls amazing aggression in battles, but can he get to the battles is going to be the big question. And you've got to be getting... This is the big difference, because yesterday the line was slightly different for the other competition, Iron Drift King. Then I think it's going to be tough for these guys to adapt. They had more of a mid-inside line through that first corner. Now they're expected to go right out. And I mean, if you're in the muscle memory of running, you know, the same line over and over again all weekend, and then you got to change it all of a sudden, well, it's not an easy task.
No, it certainly isn't, and these guys are struggling with it. As you can see, their score drops in. A 67, he does improve, but he's in 35th position. Unfortunately, Dave, that's where we're at. 67 doesn't even get you in the show at the moment.
Wow, incredible. A driver eliminated already, and he's the first one out in qualifying. Next up, Pavel Trela. Well, he's got to improve also.
Yeah, he sits with an 80 at the moment on his first qualifying run. This guy, though, a wild card in Poland, and he proved himself there. Can he prove himself once again here in Germany as he fires that little Opel GT onto the wall? Not much room between him and the wall, though, so a scary move as he gets deep into the outside zone 2, deep into 3 again. Trela now starting to make the move. He's got a good score, so he will find himself hopefully inside top 32. Nice and close to the wall, but a tag, and he upsets the front wheels of the car. You can see that steering input from Trela. Now as he gets into 6, once again reasserts himself, looks down at the line and pulls it across the finish line.
Incredible car, because it's so small. I can only imagine how difficult it is to drive, and you've put a very big engine in that car, so it is going to be
What is it, the term you use? It's a small man with a big dog.
That is a little bit what that car is, and you know, it's lightweight.
It's light. I wonder how it handles as a lightweight car. We've both driven, Dave, in the past.
Poorly. Well, I will tell you one thing, neither of us could drive that car, because
no,
it's a big
I think it'd be very odd to drive. The seating position, where you sit as a driver in the car, the wheelbase, and I think the lightness of the chassis itself must make it very difficult.
Well, you sit almost, you sit almost on the back wheels. You've got this huge bonnet in front of you, so it's incredible to think, you know, how competitive he is in that car, and will he improve from his 80 on his first run? Well, we'll find out from the judges. He looked good yesterday. I was very confident in him, you know, getting to that podium yesterday. And a 77 doesn't improve, stays in 18th position with an 80, and it looks safe, but will it be safe is the question.
Well, we've got a few more guys to get through before we end up with our top 32 grid decided. And up next will be your Iron Drift King champion, your new king of Germany, Juha Poitalaxko, the Finnish driver, sits on the line, took home that prize money. He's got, again, borrowed time and looking confident, and he must be feeling right on top of the world right now as he fires in. Poitalaxko tagging the wall very deep into outside zone, almost over the edge of the line there, but holds onto it to Poitalaxko right now. As he now looks down to get to the outside zone 4, gets on it just about right timing, but not as deep as we're seeing some of the rest of the grid at the moment. Poitalaxko transitioning back into 5, just sacrificing that line, ever so slightly slowing the car down as he now sits in the middle of the circuit across the line. And Poitalaxko throws away a little bit of valuable points at the end of the run.
Yeah, another driver that really comes alive in the twin battles, and I think that's where his speciality is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a very good qualifier at the same time. I think on that particular run, another driver may be suffering with the change of track overnight. You know, you've got to come back to a slightly different line, a slightly more aggressive line. And he does a good job, don't get me wrong. He's where he needs to be right throughout the circuit, but not perfect.
Well, look at this, as he navigates his way around and replay the final turns. You can see him in the middle of the track compared to James Dean and the Jack Shanahan's, where they were sitting on the edge of the circuit with a bumper right up on the wall. Poitalaxko will be losing a few of those points.
Well, let's see what he scores. I mean, definitely wants to make his way into the top 32 action later today. He wants to be here when the sun goes down and the lights come on. And let's see if Poitalaxko's done enough. An 86 does improve into 12th position, goes Juha Poitalaxko. Quality of line there and consistency. Well, that's a guy that looks comfortable out there. You know, 2 very, very good scores. And if you look at Perez, Juan Antonio Perez Apricio, a guy that looks like he's struggling a little bit out there.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, brand new build and a brand new chassis, and impact with the wall earlier, 45 on his first qualifying run, so he's outside the competition already. I can tell you that for nothing, as he fires in this little Nissan Skyline GTR-powered Toyota GT86. He's on the mid-line, Dave. He's in the middle of the circuit. This is not looking good for Apricio right now, as he finds himself nice and deep in outside zone 4, but right at the end of the wall run. Now he's going to have to really work hard to get back on the qualifying run. And again, look, another guy in the middle of the circuit as he crosses the finish line. So Apricio there pops the door open and really needs to be up in the 80s to make this one work. And it's going to be a difficult task with a run like that.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't perfect. I mean, he gets around there, but it's not so much how good or bad anyone is at getting around. It's just the level of competition you're up against, Ian, and the scores that are coming in around you is what's really going to really push I would say a lot of drivers to make, unforced errors. A lot of pressure on these guys, especially with the traveling they've done to be here. It is a tough task to go out there and run those walls confident. Let's see how he gets on. Hits a 54 for a pre-CO, puts him into 38th position. Not enough to qualify him right now. And Becky is down on the grid. Becky, what you got for us?
Well, the qualifying run 1 has just gone through and our drivers are whipping past us. We're in the stands here and everyone is really starting to enjoy it because it's filling up, the atmosphere is getting hotter. At the moment we've got James Dean in first, his neighbour Jack Shanahan in second, and then we've got Tor Arne Kavia in third. It's all to play for. They've got another run to get through now. We're going to keep watching and update you very soon.
Thanks, Becky. I'm a little bit jealous. I'd like to be in those stands watching on.
We were last night, Dave.
Yeah, and we had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun yesterday.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch this event from the stands, and those fans are going to have an incredible day ahead of them. Well, will Mevlut Meladze be making up their entertainment later on? Well, he's got to improve a little bit on his first run, but still had a solid run all the same. A 67, well, I think he's going to have to improve from there. The Georgian driver firing in hot to that first corner, going very wide here. He could be flirting with danger on the wall. Brave move to start the run.
Very, very brave move there from Mevlut Meladze. Off front for a very long time, yeah, tagging that wall on outside zone 4 hole twice. And that's upset his line massively now. As you can see him, he had to back out of it and then work himself back onto that qualifying line as Mevlut Meladze from Georgia gets deep onto the wall across the line, but a few mistakes coming into that run and not the consistency that you like to see on the back end of that car, Dave. Seen better days after this weekend.
Absolutely. I mean, I love the bravery on the first corner, but he almost had to stall up very abruptly towards outer zone 2.
Watch how long he's off throttle for. Look at this.
Yeah, lets it ride all the way to the wall and almost comes to a dead stop there. But the real, I suppose, moment of the run that's going to cost him is here. Bang, hits the wall, kind of gets out of it, bang, hits it again. And that's almost straightening up a lot towards that outer zone 4. Not what we want to see from Mevlut Meladze. And you know what? He'll know in the car himself. He's like, that is an error.
Yeah, he'll know. He'll know himself. As you say, drivers always know, they get that feeling inside the car that things are not going right. And Mevlut with a 67 his first qualifying run. Where does he sit? Oh, it's a 48, so he's outside. He sits in 36th position, and such a shame the man from Georgia not making qualifying this round.
Incredible to see such talented drivers suffering with not terrible scores, but just how high the scoring has been so far.
Yeah, the pressure out off the line. We have the next Spanish driver, it'll be Jonathan Hernandez Sanchez. He comes on a 61 on his first qualifying run, so he will be out of competition as he now makes his way around in this V8-powered E92 BMW. And again, another driver shy on these qualifying lines. He's going to get very deep into the wall, but just about saves it. As Hernandez, does tackle the wall. Look how quickly he comes away from that qualifying line now. He's back on the accelerator as he looks for outside zone 6, but he does sacrifice that as well. And these guys, lower end of the championship, Dave, struggling to adjust to this technical track and as you say, the level of driving and the high qualifying scores.
There's also no room for error. This particular point in the course, he's got to be a little wider there. This is, for me, I think probably the biggest error he has. As he comes back to outer zone 4, he gets very close to the wall. He comes off throttle completely here, just stalls up completely. There's still smoke coming from the car, but he's off throttle. You can hear that engine just die down. Maybe trying to just get a little bit more grip to stay out of the wall. But again, the judges are looking for full throttle areas of the track. That is not a slowing zone. I think, right in front of there, you can see their viewpoint is perfect of that particular zone. I think it's going to hurt his score. And a 64 for Jonathan Hernandez Sanchez sees another driver eliminated from competition. Very harsh right now.
Very, look, these scores 64. These are, well, we move it along. 77 on the board for Christian Erlsson. This guy desperate to make qualifying this year as he comes off the line. The Swedish driver said that he's been plagued with mechanical issues and mental issues inside the car. But look at this right now as Erlsson not messing around. He's deep into the wall, but he keeps a hold of it. And Erlsson has been watching from the sidelines. He sacrifices outside zone 3. Nevertheless, he finds himself back onto 4 now. Can Erlsson top of 77? A few little errors there on that big impact with the wall. And nevertheless, he stays in it now as Erlsson looks for outside zone 6, pushes nice and wide as he gets across the line. And Erlsson throwing it all out there, the car and him working together.
So Christian Erlsson puts a score on the board, and we have got Becky's down in the pits. I think she's with some of the James Dean fan crew. Let's see how those guys are feeling right now. Confident, I imagine.
Now, lots of teams sell T-shirts, but there's none so recognizable than the Worthhouse James Dean T-shirt. Kevin here is wearing one, and tell me why.
I know James Dean since 3 years ago. I follow him on Instagram and everywhere, and he's a spectacular driver, and I like him really much.
So where have you come from to support him today?
From Schifferstadt in Germany. It's 500 kilometers. We was here last year, and Hockenheim is not so far from here. The last year we were in Hockenheim and saw all drivers, and the year before too, and it's awesome.
Awesome, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. 500 kilometers, come see James Dean. He's getting his money's worth, but Christian Erlandson scores a 76 on his second run, putting him into 28th position. That's close to the drop zone, Ian. He's got work to do if he gets to the battles to improve from there again. But I think, 78, really, with this level of driving? You never know. Let's see who our next driver is. It is going to be Norbert Samic, the Hungarian. Scored an 83 in his first run, coming in very, very aggressive into that outer zone 2. Still not making it out to that concrete wall. But he looks very fast and fluid around here. Definitely a lot of confidence, coming in very heavy. You can see the boot lid just lift slightly on the back of the car. As he tags it, there's bumpers coming off, there's cameras falling off. Norbert Samic putting on a show for the German audience here as he fires that black 180SX across the line. Nice job there. And this guy, I tell you, this weekend is looking more comfortable than we've seen him all year.
Well, he's a bit of a dark horse, is young Norbert Samic right now as he fires that car at 90 degrees to outside zone. Does sacrifice too a little bit with that, that much angle carried, but it slowed the car down, and that's what he wanted to achieve. Look at that, the impact with the wall stayed in the throttle. Very good job there for Norbert Samic. Bumper hanging off the back, well, he says no worries to that as he gets very deep onto the wall once again. And Samic putting it all out there, and he knows that impact, that style impact is where the points can be earned. And a very good line as well for him. What do the judges see, though, Dave? There's been some strange scores so far.
Yeah, an 88 for Norbert Samic puts him into 7th position, highest qualifying score so far this year. A personal best and a statement of intent from the Hungarian. Nice job there. Back to the start line we go, as it is Kalen Kiritin, the Romanian. Well, he's got a little work to do on his first run. Kiritin scoring a 72. And I'll tell you one thing about Kiritin. He was tentative on the first run. I'm hoping for more aggression here.
Well, yeah, it's Kiritin, though. He fires it in and he either makes a big mistake and gets it wrong, or he makes it work. And right now, it's not working at all. They threw that car and it gripped up very, very quickly. Got himself out of the zone. And look at this now. He's way off that qualifying line. And he's struggling.